to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. Somewhere behind me over there, socially distanced, is Ronnie Brown. He'll be chucking in some of his thoughts on the game as well as I get that TV out of shot. And yeah, Man United have drawn 0-0 with Crystal Palace. Not a great result at all. Not a great performance either from the Reds. And I'm absolutely flat after that one. Absolutely flat. Now, to those people that are tweeting me and DMing me and getting at me saying, Mac, you said 21 was coming. Where is it? Bro, you're not going to get at me for being positive about my own team. I genuinely couldn't give a fuck. I will be positive to the death of me. And I'll tweet 21 is coming tomorrow, so go fuck yourselves. But, back to the facts. United drew today. What was the problem today, Ronnie? We've just had a brief chat off camera, but what do you think the problem was today?
We had a brief chat. It was actually surprising that it was brief because there were so many. There was so many problems, there were so many issues, but we touched on the tactical side of it in terms of what is our pattern of play, and I think a lot of United fans would agree with us in terms of the fact that it seems that a lot of United's best performances and best football comes when they've got a load of space, they're able to counter-attack, and it seems that when the game's not in that kind of mode, we seem to struggle time and time again. Because if you think about it, they obviously scored 9 against Southampton. They went down to 10 men quite early, then 9 men, and then they had the C team. But we're still ruthless and clinical, which we can't criticise ourselves for. We played Leeds and scored 6, but they're open and expansive, and they're tailor-made for us with the personnel that we've got. But I think we see in that quite often. Have you seen a statistic? I don't know, I've got a list or whatever that was. But the statistic that we've got more nil-nils this season in the league more than anybody else.
Despite the fact
we're
one of the top goal scorers, if not the top goal scorer.
So the weirdest thing about that game and after it is I'm struggling to put into words what's the definitive problem is. Like, I don't really know. It's just...
Now, before we go further into this chat, I will put it out there that obviously neither of us, I've seen a big overreaction to this where everyone's going Ollie out, this, that and the other. In the grand scheme of things, we're both sitting here thinking progress has been made this season and a lot of it. So we're not denying that. But what we want to know is, how do we go further? How do we keep progressing? How do we keep moving forward? And for me today, the problem with us was we didn't create enough chances. Now, how are we going to create chances? Our midfield constantly gives the ball away. The two sitting, whether that's Matic and Fred, McTominay and Fred, they give the ball away far too much. So whenever we're trying to build attacks, we're constantly then on the turnover because we send the ball forward, and we saw it with Fred today. He pings the ball out, and if it gets to the final third, Rashford will get it, Bruno will get it, Greenwood will get it, and their first thought more often than not is, how am I going to score? We don't have a midfield that will pass the ball to them. McTominay tries and then comes up and supports them so that they can be able to build up play and build up a sustained, possession in the final third. And then we don't have enough patterns, enough triangles, enough you come here, I'll go there, is an overlap, pulling defenders out of place. So like you just said, Leeds, we scored 6 goals. Southampton, we scored 9 goals. But when you look at Palace, we scored 1 goal in 2 games. West Bromwich Albion, 2 goals in 2 games. We dropped some points in there. Sheffield United dropped points. And people are talking about the big 6 and this, that and the other. But it's been our results against Palace, against Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion. You can argue Everton as well, although they're not bottom of the barrel teams. Those are the results that have affected us in this title race this season. So yes, I do think, we need to improve our squad and all that kind of stuff before we can really truly believe we can win the title. But also at the same time, we need to be able to set up in a way which is going to allow us to attack, sustain pressure, and hopefully score more goals and create more chances. Can you remember one chance for Cavani today?
No, not at all. And he looks despondent. He put his hands up in the air a lot with the service. And what's funny about the way he was talking about how our forward players think how we're going to score and the way we give away the ball so much in midfield, it's because, like you said, we don't really have a partner play. So what happens is our midfield is a lot, some could argue it's technical, but some can argue it's just the wrong decision making in terms of a lot of the passes that are attempted that get caught out are forced and desperate. And then it's the same way when the forward players like Rashford and Bruno and Greenwood get on the ball, they try and do too much. And what that shows me is that players that don't really have that much of a belief in their style of play or the way they play or their partner play, that they're going to constantly get opportunity to do damage in the final third. So they think, oh, we're in the final third now, we've got to score, or we've got to create something, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, because I'm not sure when's the service going to come next. So that's what's kind of scary to me. I'm thinking other players just believing that they don't have too much belief in what they're actually doing or asked to do in terms of their play.
It's mad.
They're desperate.
Because today I kept thinking, if we're going to score here, we need to set up Luke Shaw to get a ball in. And it shouldn't be like that.
He was the only one that looked a little bit like he could do something, which is odd.
Luke Shaw is our most attacking or most likely output from it. It's mental. Jerome T. Green comes with a super chat. Thank you, Jerome, by the way. And he says, Adam, I love Rashford, but if that was Marshall today and not Rashford, he would be getting so much abuse. Now, I think Rashford's got a lot of goals and assists in the bank, which help him. Do you know what I mean? And Martial wouldn't be getting as much criticism for bad performances if he had as many goals and assists as Rashford. But let's talk about Rashford's performance. I'm not asking you to fucking abuse him or anything. We both love Marcus Rashford here. And I think he's going to be on course for his best season ever in terms of goals and assists. But has he lost something in his play on that pursuit of more goals and assists?
I personally think, even though Rashford has got a lot of goals and assists, I think his longest sustained period of brilliant performances haven't been this season, in a weird way. I think he had a little spell this season where he was on fire, a couple games, few games, but in the totality of the season, I don't think there's been many.
Leipzig and Liverpool.
Yes, I don't think there's many games where I've watched United and thought Rashford was brilliant today. I think he's a man that seems to be he's turned a little bit enigmatic. You know, where he lives in moments kind of, or he's just got that. He's got God-given ability. Rashford. He's probably one of the most talented players on the team. That's bottom line. You can see that. You don't have to. But it's the way.
It's the fact that he knows that affects him.
I think so. I think he knows. I think the way he applies it, because sometimes he's too greedy. His decision making's all over the place, and you get told in football from day one that what separates world-class players from the rest is that world-class players make better decisions more often than the others, and that's what it's not always just abilities. And
it's the mentality.
I think because people make, I don't want to do it, but people constantly make the Mbappe and Rashford comparison. I don't watch Mbappe and think he's miles better ability-wise than Rashford. I don't think he is, but ability-wise, I don't think he is. I think Mbappe is miles ahead in the way he applies his ability in terms of he makes better decisions at better times, and he shows a bit more conviction in the final third, and that's what separates him. Because that's what annoys people. Get onto people about that criticise Rashford a lot, but it's because you can see that Rashford can be a much better player than he even is. He's still probably one of our one or two most important players on the team, but he's got the ability to go beyond that, and he hasn't. I think it's more of a mental thing in terms of I think he has started to show that little bit of arrogance about him, where he knows I know the ball in this team. I know that probably.
Well, I think that's affected him, because there's been times, and again, people use it as me defending Martial all the time, but it's genuinely not. A lot of the times, them 1-2s that they used to do last season, they're gone. So Martial's looking for them, like, bro,
I know what you're talking about.
1-2, he's running in behind, and then he looks back, but Rashford's dropped his shoulder and gone that way and looking to score, and it's like, we've lost that even with Greenwood, linking up with people.
Greenwood's playing a bit desperate, isn't it?
But with Greenwood,
we get that though.
He's young. Do you know what I mean? He's 19. We can't really rush him, and he's playing out of position. So I get it, but we have got players at the minute that are just all playing for themselves. And I think, Cavani playing today and not having a sniff, it probably shows you that the problem hasn't been just our number 9.
Yeah.
Yes, we can improve on and get, Haaland's world-class number 9 or whatever. But it hasn't been that. It has been creating chances, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's only so much a forward player can do when you're not getting the right kind of service and support, and the service weren't great today. People will say Cavani had a bad game. That's true in terms of the he wasn't really much involved, but there's only so much you can do in a service reliant position like that. And what happens, as I just said with forward players, is when you're playing in a game and you're not getting that much service, it affects your game when you actually do get the ball. In terms of, normally you'd go with the flow of the game when you get a lot of the ball, you pass it off, you move, you pass it off, you run, knowing you're going to get it back, and you're playing the flow of the game. When you're not getting that service, what happens is you get the ball, and then you want to do too much, and then you give the ball away, and then it worsens it, because then you feel like, I've just given the ball away, next time I need to do something mad. So I don't know, man.
He's in his head.
He's in his head.
He's in his head. He is in his own head.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the rest of the season? Now we got Dr. Jabir Kazi saying strikers don't have bad games, they just get bad service. Martial and Cavani recently. Yeah, because it's like with Martial, when he's had a bad one, it's been because he hasn't done nothing. Like, actually, the PSG game where he missed bare chances. I think there's not been many of them chances where he's missed 4 sitters in a game.
Nah, I think the one with Martial is people are more onto him about how his body language looks. Which is, what's an annoying thing? That's going to be an annoying thing for him, because you can tell that's just his name.
And that's sometimes you can tell his body language is, I'm pissed off because I want to score.
Yeah, that's his personality. And the thing is, he's a human, and everyone reacts differently. And I think he's just one of them guys where you might think he doesn't want it, but he does. It's almost like he really wants it, and when it's not coming off for him, he kind of gets really down about it.
The other day he batted fuck out of the post, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was standing there, like the ball went for a corner, he was just there, just like the post, just screaming at it. Yeah.
He's a confidence player, I think, and I think his confidence has been low.
But we're not creating chances, man. Edinson Cavani, you create 3 chances for him, he scores 2 goals. Do you know what I mean? And we're not creating those chances. Who is to blame for that? Players, manager, mixture of both? Or do you think the lack of pre-season and the lack of opportunity to work on the training pitch is affecting them?
I think it's going to sound like a safe answer, but I think it's been all of them. I think the blame can be spread around so evenly. The manager, the players, maybe sometimes recruitment. I think the whole thing is just all blended into one, because people can criticise Oli in terms of saying, what substitutions did he make? What tactical differences did he make? Which is true, but the annoying thing is what options were on the bench to change the game today? James and Scott McTominay. Would you class them as game changers?
Bro, but at the same time, I would have chucked Ahmad in.
Yeah.
Just a firecracker. No one knows what's going to happen. Not even us. Let's see what happens.
Even if he goes on and gives the ball away there, we're not asking.
What's changed from what's going on now?
Nothing changed from watching us just plod along to a 0-0. It pissed me off, that.
And plus, then Palace man will be like, what is he going to do? Do I need 2 men to mark him? Do I need 1 man to mark him? Like, they won't really know.
That unknown, innit? Yeah. That's a true thing in football.
Noah goes with the super chat. Thank you very much, Noah. If you want to get your super chats in, get them in. We've got about a 5 minutes left on this show. Ali has brought correct structure, youth development, good recruitment, amongst other things. But he can only take us so far in terms of us tactically. His adaptability at this level isn't good enough. Now, I think that's a fair, balanced comment. Obviously, whether we agree with it or not is besides the point. But Noah, thank you for your point. Ali has brought the correct structure, youth development, and good recruitment. But he can only take us so far. I don't think we've reached that point yet. But do you have that fear?
The only thing that I blame Oli for is the way I see United players approach games sometimes, which I think the manager has something to do with. There's no way if the players, I don't know, I can't understand how you can watch today's game and say, Ollie's got into the changing rooms before it, fired it up and said, "You're playing Sunday, you're playing City on Sunday, they're high flying, you need to go in there on the back of a win with confidence. You're in a top 4 race now, you need to keep the pressure on, you don't know what can happen," and just fired the team up because the players seemed to go out onto the pitch like they couldn't give 2 shits the whole game, and it wasn't like
Ross says that with a super chat. He goes, lack of urgency when the players wasn't acceptable.
exactly. I was actually getting really upset towards the end of the game because as a fan, it's a weird thing. I was watching players, and it's annoying watching football and seeing your team play like they don't care when you care so much. It was a bit weird. I was a bit like.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't care, but I get what you're saying when you're watching it and you see that.
Yeah. It's like
that, and it could be. Someone else made a comment. Now we've got Antal with those super chats. There's 6 players that are bench at best under Fergie. But there's also another one from Anthony Jarvis who says it shows that the only squad capable of dealing with this crazy season is City's because of the money they've spent.
I think that's slightly true. People could say Chelsea have a big squad as well, but they've been shit. But you know what? It's the one weird one in City is people say Pep and this and that, but the squad they've got is mad because they beat Arsenal 1-0, and I've actually pulled it out because I screenshotted their bench. Every single person on City's bench when they beat Chelsea 1-0 would start for Arsenal that day. So I'm thinking you can't really make the comparison when it comes down to it. But I'm actually gonna get it up because I definitely had it. This was I think City's bench against Arsenal, right? When they beat Arsenal 1-0 was Kyle Walker, Jesus, Aguero, Laporte, Rodri, Ferran Torres, Foden, and Benjamin Mendy. So I don't want to hear about City, this City, that. With their squad, they should win. That's why. So I don't even want to give them too much compliment because they've bought what they've bought in it, and maybe they do have the squad that everyone else doesn't to kind of deal with it, and maybe that's what's shown in the end. But
it's annoying though because these are like, I can accept if we lose against City, but it's Palace away, Palace at home, West Brom.
You can have that leverage though if you beat Palace today, you can go into City's game, play with house money because no one expects you to win. You draw 0-0 against Palace, you put pressure on the game against City, feel like you don't want to drop points again, and then because we draw 0-0, drop 2 points. City beat us.
Haven't we drew the last 3 games?
Yes, exactly, and then City beat us on a Sunday. All of a sudden we're clinging on, and then we should realistically, with the games that we've had and what position we're in, we shouldn't have had to be worried now about whether we finish top 4.
And we're lucky that Leicester have dropped points in their last 2 games.
We're lucky that Leicester have had 10 man injured for most of the season. I don't know how Leicester are where they are with the injuries that they've had.
We need to go back ASAP, innit?
We said that. I was saying it to Cam at half time when we wasn't on, and then you said it, and I was like, I'm not thankful Adam's mentioned it. When Bruno's not doing anything, Pogba's the only person that can I think Pogba's the only person that has world class creativity on the United team, whether he's playing bad or not. And he gets criticised and he gets slandered for his performances at times. But what people know is Pogba has irreplaceable world class talent and moments that can change games, and them type of players, they might be luxury players, but they're so important and pivotal. And when you have that's what I'm worried if Pogba leaves in the summer, right, and we don't get a valid replacement, I think we could be fucked.
They gotta get that thing signed.
I think we could be fucked.
That's why I'm gathering the rumours from there. You heard them?
Yeah.
Pogba might sign a new deal. Pog's injured, only 3 wins in 10. So Anthony. Mazza.
Because if Bruno
15 points.
Bruno don't do nothing, we don't do nothing. Is that what it is? Because
pretty much so. Pretty much so. Chris Dolmeath just says tits, which is fun. Yeah, that's it for today, I think. It's been a bit of a depressing one, but hopefully me and Ronnie have made it a bit easy for you. Who's your man of the match, Eric Bailey?
I was Luke Shaw.
It's another good shout. I'd go Eric Bailey. You see his mad header that he did at
at the end I said
he jumped on the side in a ball. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
He's no context on Twitter, isn't he? I'd say put. I was gonna say last 5 minutes. Might as well put Eric Bay up front. Just see what happens. But gave me some life. What was it? Not annoying you as well? I got to mention it before you go about the viewing of the game. Was it fog or was the camera lens not just being wiped?
Mate, I couldn't even bother to talk about it anymore. Like I was glad. I wanted to
When
switch
you
the TV
see
on.
properly, there was a bit where I couldn't see the ball.
I couldn't see when it was in the far side. Steve says, great review, guys. Disappointed with recent results. Do you think next season could be Ollie's make or break season if he lets second place slip? Well, this season's make or break for him, really. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if there's a sustained level of stagnation in terms of United, he could be in trouble because it's Manchester United Football Club, and if we're not challenging for titles or winning titles, we're gonna have to look for elsewhere. Just the bottom line is, as good as he's been for the most part, we're trying to win leagues and even get higher up in the Champions League. I think as a Champions League football club, United have become a bit of an afterthought as well, which is an issue.
That's true.
I remember the good old days.
A few of the people shouting out Wan-Bissaka as man of the match.
Oh, yeah, Wan-Bissaka's
man of the
alright
match.
today as well.
Dean Henderson made a very good save towards the end. He was pretty good in the first half, but yeah, man. Apart from that, pretty much done out here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Ronnie for joining us. Follow him on the socials. What's your socials, Ronnie?
Ronaldo Brown 98_. You'll find him.
So go follow him on socials. Make sure you're keeping it locked. Stretford Paddock. My review should be up there now. Jay and Joe's review reaction as well. We got a preview for the City game coming. I've got to do one with Boovy tomorrow as well. Fuck. He's gonna make that hard for me, man.
Trolling you, mate.
Yeah, he loves it. He does. He loves it. I absolutely love Boovy, but he's such a troll. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked. Like, comment, share, subscribe. For now, we're out of here.